Today, home building is really broken. It's expensive, it's unpredictable, and it's very time-consuming. It just didn't make sense to me. There had to be a better way.
Home construction hasn't changed in 100 years. It's done mostly by hand by a shrinking skilled labor force, using hammers and 2x4s, each home made like a one-off prototype.
And so I started asking the question, well, what if homes were built like every other product in our lives? But then I realized that, unlike car companies or electronic companies, homes actually do have to be different depending on what property they're on. Every property is unique, right? How do you do customization at scale?
Alexis Rivas created Cover to upend traditional construction, with the ultimate goal of driving down the cost of housing and proliferating high-quality design.
We're redesigning the entire home building process from the ground up, and we've created the first way to build custom homes in a way that actually scales.
This is a show about founders challenging the status quo.
What does home mean to you?
It's a place where you belong.
So the way I met Alexis was an architecture school in New York City at the Cooper Union. Alexis was trying to answer this question of why isn't housing accessible to everyone? I was actually moving towards becoming a software engineer when we realized that the solution to the housing problem was really an intersection of our interests in the things that we had observed.
So that we can get a sense for what's out there and
Yeah.
pricing and all that. The biggest contributor to conventional construction being expensive is the coordination between all of the different parties involved and the fact that it is fragmented. We do everything from start to finish.
We have some incoming and outgoing material over here. We produce our own window frames, which is really cool and unusual.
Building homes in a factory is not a new idea. What makes us different is that nobody has actually developed a way to build custom homes in a way that scales. And we're solving that with software. We've taken a process that normally would be months of design and engineering back and forth, and we've compressed that into literally seconds with our software so that we can go from here's what I want to a design that we know down to the bolt exactly how it's going to be built.
Mass-produced customization means there's no room for error. If two pieces don't fit together during installation, you can't use a saw on site to make adjustments like in traditional construction.
Making mass customizable components that get sent out from a factory and then assembled on site easily has actually never been done before.
It wasn't possible to build this software even 10, 20 years ago. And a lot of companies have tried to do this, but they've gone straight to trying to build, 100-unit apartment buildings. And so the part that we're doing differently is we're starting off small, solve one problem, and then move on to the next bigger problem. This is the first cover that we built, right? And this one was very painful. We were building this in the parking lot, and we would have an investor drive into the parking lot and look at us like, those are the crazy cover guys, just on the roof of this, with drills, and we did look kind of crazy, right? I think we remade this wall, for example, 5 or 6 times before we got it right. How the material looks in the CAD model and then how it physically comes together, it's different, right? Something might compress more than you expected it to, and then that causes issues elsewhere. There are a ton of engineering, manufacturing, software problems here to solve. What is the optimal path to route electrical wiring or plumbing through the home? How do you make the kitchen install in a day instead of a week? Individually, all of these problems aren't insanely hard, but together you have a ton to solve.
The way we approach the problems we tackle first is what solutions do we need in order to enable other solutions to be possible.
Silicon Valley wants to disrupt the way construction has always been done, and Cover is not the only startup trying to do it. But they have attracted significant investment, and with it, questions about their ability to customize mass-produced housing.
People, think that we're crazy to do what we're doing because home building has been done the same way for 100 years, and a lot of people have tried to change this and nobody's succeeded.
There'll always be skeptics, and so that's not something that we can solve for.
People say like, why are you the right people to solve this? I mean, our response is usually just show us someone else is actually doing it this way. And nobody is, and we are doing it. Every cover we build, including this one, it's designed specifically for this customer and for this property. One of the neat things here, you can see just how close we were able to get to the tree. What we've had to do is design a system that allows for that flexibility. How do we make homes that are actually healthier, that are more inspiring, that are stunning to live in, and for everyone, right? How do we take the kinds of homes that today are, $10 million and make that the new norm for everyone?
Alexis is betting the future of cover on the notion that homes can be mass-produced like cars or computers. If he's right, how we live and who can afford a home of their own could be completely transformed.
We see a future where homes are stunning, high-performing, and affordable for everyone. This is a problem that is very important and needs to be solved, and nobody has approached it in the way that we've approached it before.
Okay, beautiful. They're all set. Ceiling's in, light tracks are in. You ready for your new home?